Hello, good evening everyone. So, today we are going to study about the first unit of the grade 12 bioresource book, Introduction to Biology. So, let's study about this. So, here in this lesson does not have many information to be studied or memorized. This is just a introduction for the people who are coming to do biology newly. It explains like what science is, what biology is, and how many branches are there, all those stuff. And then there are some definitions to memorize, which they can ask in structure essay questions. So we did not get many MCQs in this session for our past papers, but we got SCQs, many of the SCQs. So we should pay attention for this lesson as well. So before we going to start studying this lesson, let's see what is there in this lesson. It includes mainly 5 points. Okay, right? First, they introduce about the lesson, like about what biology is and how many branches are there, and then how this name biology came, and how living things are classified. All those things are called the introduction. That's what they are in this first topic, introduction. After that, we will be studying issues. Issues means problems we face related with biology. So we face many problems, and if we can solve them with biology, those are related with those are we gonna study about them, like issues related to biology. And then there is another topic. The third topic is like diversity among living organisms. Third topic is diversity. Okay, first introduction, second issues, third categorization is diversity. Here we will be studying about the diversity of the living organisms, like how they vary according to the shape, according to the size and form and stuff. Okay. After that, the fourth categorization is characteristics. Characteristics means there are some special characteristics for living organisms that non-living organisms doesn't show them. Okay, so we will be studying them as well. After that, the fifth one is hierarchy. Hierarchy is from this molecular level till the biosphere level, how the life is organized. That's how we are going to study in this hierarchical level. So mainly we're gonna study about the introduction, we're gonna study about issues, we're gonna study about diversity, we're gonna study about the characteristics and the hierarchy. Okay, so now let's go deeply into each and every topic. So let's start with nature's scope and importance of biology with reference to challenges faced by mankind. This is the topic. So, biology is a science which is focused on studying of living organisms. If someone asks what is biology, you can give this as a definition. Biology means it is focused only on studying about the living organisms, not the non-living things. Okay, so it consists of all the living organisms. So how this name came? This name came like see here, bios. Bios means life. Logos means study of. Okay, so Ramayan, it's a Greek word. This term biology is derived from the Greek word. Here it means bios means life, and logos or logia, we say logia, that's study of. The meaning of logia is study of. That's a Greek word. That's how this biology word came into concept. Okay. The concept of life is not easy to define. So if someone asks you what is life, it's not easy to define. You can't define anyways. because even the scientists can't unable to provide an acceptable definition for life. They have not provided any definition for life, so no one can explain about it. Life is something special and unique which cannot be explained using laws of chemistry and physics. So usually scientists say we can explain everything. Even if we walk, we can explain those things using science, like using physics and chemistry. But life is something, it is very special and unique which cannot be explained using these kinds of laws, or laws of Newton's law or something. You can't explain. Okay, that's why life is special and unique. So after that they say biology is a subject which is very complex and vast. Hence, for the convenience of study, it has been divided into 3 primary branches. So this biology is okay. Let's see. If biology is studying about living organisms, how many living organisms are there in our planet? So much of animals, plants, microorganisms, and so much of things are there. If we want to study about each and everything, it's impossible because it is very complex and very vast. Okay, so for the convenience of our students to study, it has been divided into 3 main primary branches. They are zoology, botany, and microbiology. Okay, so what are the main 3 branches of biology? It's zoology, botany, and microbiology. Even before 1990s, A-level papers, they had like zoology and botany. Now only we have biology papers. Those days they had zoology paper and botany paper. So these 3 are the main parts. Zoology means, it means zoo. With the name you can identify. Zoo means, you know, they have a zoo and all, right? So there are animals in it. So zoology means study about animals. Botany means, with the name itself you can understand, botany, Peradeniya botanical garden. So it's a study of plants. Microbiology is study of microorganisms. Okay. So these are the main 3 branches. Other than these main 3 branches, there are some sub branches as well. These sub branches are like cell biology, histology, anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, genetics, and ecology. There are 7 sub branches. Okay. So for you guys to remember these 7 types, I'll tell you a small method. We start it from the biological molecule level. Like from molecules, these cells are rising now. So let's see about let's see about the biological molecule. Studying about biological molecule is called as biochemistry. Okay, so that is first. You can remember in this order. If you can't remember in this order, you can remember as I say. So biochemistry, studying biological molecules. So after these molecules get together, they form a cell. So studying cells, they are called as cell biology. You know, in hierarchical organizational level, these cells form tissue now. So studying about tissue is the next thing. Studying about tissue, they call histology. We have to specifically remember these names. Okay. After that, these tissues form a organ, and these organs form a structure. So this structure about studying about gross structure of the body, that is anatomy. Okay, so you can remember in that order. After that, if we know about a structure, we should study about the function of the structure. So next we gonna study about the function. It is physiology. Okay, so then you only have to remember on 2 separately. Okay, so genetics and ecology, you can remember them in separate thing. Genetics is studying inheritance and ecology is studying environment. Okay, these are the 7 things we have to remember. So that's all about the introduction part. Okay. So I said we're gonna study by 5 parts: introduction, issues, diversity, characteristics, and hierarchy. First part is over. Introduction part is over. Okay, you guys can write somewhere like introduction, issues, diversity, characteristics, and hierarchy. So you can complete like introduction is over. Okay, so next we have to move for the issues. Okay, issues pertaining to biology means the problems we face using biology or related with biology. Okay, so we face many challenges all the time. So if we can solve those problems using biology, so if the problem is related with this biology, so that's what we are gonna study now. Okay, so here there are about 7 problems which we are facing. We can also say this like the importance of biology. Okay, so 7 importance why we should study biology. If we should study biology to solve these problems. Okay, so these issues are arising, so we should solve our issues using biology. First one is understanding biological diversity. So it's an issue. Understanding the biological diversity is a problem for us. So we have to find solution using biology. Understanding human body and its function. Okay, that's also important. Sustainable use and management of natural resources. That's the third thing. And environment. So the fourth one is sustainable food production. Fifth one, understanding plant life. Sixth one, understanding diseases and causes. Seventh one, solving some legal and ethical issues. So these are the 7 types of problems they have given in our resource book. Let's go deeply into each and every topic. Okay. So first one is understanding biological diversity. So people, when we consider about understanding biological diversity, now these days our present planet is rich in diversity. So okay, so rich in diversity. There are so many living things. They are classified as animals, plants, and microorganisms. So there are a number of many organisms present in this earth. So therefore this planet is rich in diversity as well. Okay, so but sorry. So people, life on earth formed around 3.5 billion years ago. Okay, so scientists believe that this life on earth, not the earth, it means life on earth. Okay, remember this. We might be studying about formation of earth. So earth formed before different year, and this life on earth formed before 3.5 billion years ago. Okay, remember this billion as well, because sometimes some people may confuse it with million, and if you put million, it will be totally wrong. So 3.5 billion years ago. Okay, so at that time the first formed organisms are believed to be heterotrophic, anaerobic prokaryotes. Okay. From that point onwards, evolution process led to the current extensive biodiversity. Okay, so from these heterotrophic anaerobic prokaryotes, the current biodiversity has evolved. Okay, let's see what is heterotrophic, anaerobic, and prokaryotes. Okay, prokaryotes. Every organism is all the organism in the earth is divided into 2: prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Okay, prokaryotes are single-celled organisms that lack of nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. Eukaryotes have a nucleus, organized nucleus, and they have a membrane-bound organelle. Okay, prokaryotes means they don't have a characterized nucleus, and also they don't have other membrane bounded organelles. Okay, what are heterotrophs? Heterotrophs are like, according to the type of nutrition, animals are divided into two: heterotrophs and autotrophs. Autotrophs means they can produce their own food. Heterotrophs means they can't produce their own food. Therefore, these organisms use organic compounds as sources of carbon and energy. They use organic compounds from the other animals. Like they produce their food indirectly. They do not produce, they take their food indirectly, okay, from other organisms. That's what heterotrophs mean. Organisms that use organic compound as source of carbon and energy. That's the definition, okay. Anaerobes means organisms that don't require mole of oxygen for energy production. For energy production, we human need oxygen. No? Most of the animals need oxygen for energy production, but these anaerobes does not need oxygen for energy production. That's why they are called as anaerobes, and we are aerobes. Okay. So first form organisms were heterotrophic, anaerobic, prokaryotes. From those points, this current extensive biodiversity is evolved. Okay. So scientists assume, based on their studies, that there are about 10 million to over 100 million species in the world. It's a huge amount. They assume, okay, even there can be more, but they assume like there are 10 million to 100 million species, not organisms, species. Means like dog species is one type, cat species is two types. Likewise, 10 million to over 100 million species are there. Okay. There is a dynamic relationship between living world and inanimate world, and each and every organism has a specific role in the environment for the existence of biosphere. So for the existence of biosphere, for biosphere to be balanced, this living world and inanimate world means non-living world, they both should have a dynamic relationship. Okay, then only the biosphere can stay in equilibrium. So in the biologically diverse earth, there are different parts. Okay, what are those parts? Varieties of life. Okay, in the biologically diverse earth, we have varieties of life. Second thing, we have number of species of animals, plants and microorganisms. Okay, third thing, we have diversity of genes in this biological diverse earth. We have different ecosystems as well. Okay, so variety of life and this diversity of genes means, for example, in human there is about 20,000 to 25,000 genes. In a rice plant there are about 40,000 to 45,000 genes, and in fruit fly there are about 13,600 genes. So this gene number is varying according to the species. Okay, there are different ecosystems as well. The examples for ecosystems are deserts, rainforests and coral reefs. These ecosystems collectively forms the biosphere. Okay, so that's all about understanding biological diversity. Okay. These are the details. After that, we have to move to the understanding the human body and its function. That's the second problem we are going to face. So we have to study about that. So when we see about this understanding human body and its function, the subject anatomy that deals with studying the structure of body. Okay, anatomy we studied that it's the study of the gross structure of the body. Histology, you know what histology is, we studied, it's the study about tissues. Okay, So histology is also known as microscopic anatomy or microanatomy. Okay, so these two branches of biology that studies the microscopic anatomy and the gross structure of the body gives you an understanding about the structural arrangement of different organ systems in our body, and also it helps you to correlate the structure with the function of these organ system. So by studying about these two lessons, we can understand the structure and arrangement of different organ systems in our body. So by studying about this structure, after that we can understand the functions of the body as well. Okay, so we know how the level of organization goes. Cells form tissues, tissues form organ form organ systems, and organ system forms an organism. So we will be getting some extra knowledge and clear mindset about this organizational level as well. Okay, that's it about understanding human body and its function. So the third problem we face is sustainable use and management of natural resources and environment. So in this part, let's understand what natural resources are. There is a textbook definition for natural resources. It's sources of material and energy found naturally which are used in everyday life and for economic development. It directly says what natural resources are, and the thing is we must memorize this because they ask this in SEQ papers. Okay, so you know what natural resources are. The examples for natural resources are like water, air, plants, flora and fauna, like even crude oil, petroleum, fossil fuel, soil, sunlight. All these are natural resources. Okay, so but unfortunately these natural resources are limited on Earth. Okay, you know, due to the population, these natural resources are very limited on Earth. Okay, on the other hand, the demand for these resources is increased. Okay, due to this human population, the demand for the natural resources also increases. Okay, so therefore human and these other people who are in need, they overuse these natural resources. Okay, due to that it causes threat of depletion of natural resources. Okay, so what is the main cause for this threat of depletion of natural resource is it's the human population, increasing of human population. As this human population increase, the demand for the resources also increase. Okay, so as the demand increase, they overuse. As they overuse, it causes harm to these natural resources. Okay, but the bad impact is due to this overexploitation of natural resources, various environmental problems arise as well. Okay, there are 3 environmental problems they have given in the resource book. They are environmental pollution, loss of biodiversity and desertification. Okay, environmental pollution means, you know, all soil pollution, land pollution, air pollution, water pollution, and there are many pollution types. All these pollution occur due to this over exploitation of natural resources, and then loss of biodiversity. The equilibrium of biodiversity will get disturbed and it will lead to loss of biodiversity. And the next thing is desertification. As they cut these trees and all, it will cause desertification as well. Hence, to overcome the above problems, management of natural resources and environment should be practiced. Okay, so to overcome these problems, we should practice the management of natural resources and environment. Okay, knowledge of biology is useful to bring about remedies for above problems. So knowing biology is helpful to bring remedies for these problems like these environmental pollution, loss of biodiversity and desertification. Okay, so the next problems we're going to study is about sustainable food production. Sustainable food production, there is a textbook definition here. The production of sufficient amount of food for the human population using environmentally safe methods. Okay, producing sufficient amount of food for us, like for a human being, using environmental safe methods. Okay, they should be environmentally safe. Okay, the preparation should be. So that's called a sustainable food production. In SCQ papers, we might have to write this definition as well. So remember this definition. So they say the current human population is about 7 billion and expected to be double in less than 40 years. Therefore, for the survival of human beings, sustainable food production is necessary. Okay. So they say this current human population is 7 billion. It exceeded 8 billion as well, but this resource book says 7 billion. If it says 7 billion, we must write 7 billion for the exam. Okay, if someone asks or in exam, you have to write 7 billion. Okay, so it says the current human population is 7 billion and expected to be doubled within 40 years. Within this 40 years, it will be doubled. Okay, so then a human population increase means demand for these food will be increased. For those problems, we have to produce food. So sustainable food production is necessary. Okay, so to maintain sustainable food production, following methods can be applied based on the knowledge of biology. So biology provides some solution for this, for the human population increase and the competition for food arise. So these biological people, they provide some solution for that. What are those 3 solutions? Let's see. Production of high yielding varieties of plants and animals. Okay, now these technologies are developed and we know how to produce these high yielding varieties. Okay, there are many techniques for that. So they say with the knowledge of this biology, they say us to produce high yielding varieties of plants and animals. So they yield means their effectiveness is high, producing effectiveness. Okay, so the production of disease resistant plants and animals. So during this agriculture and stuff, when they harvest something or those days, if a disease come to one plant, it will spread all over and it spoils all the plants. Okay, so to avoid that, they give us an idea to produce disease resistant plant and animal varieties. Okay, then the next one is improve the post harvest technological method. Okay, so with the technology, they say post harvest means in agriculture, for harvesting there is a specific time, but they say to harvest before the specific time. Like with the technology, they will produce the plant to be that much mature to harvest before the time. Okay, so they say improve that technology as well. So these 3 are the methods that can be applied to maintain the sustainable food production. Those are, the first one is production of high yielding varieties of plant and animals, production of disease resistant plant and animal varieties, improve the post harvesting technological methods. Okay, that's all. The next problem we face is understanding plant life. So people, understanding plant life means plants are the primary producers in the world. Okay, they are the primary producers. In the food chain, they are the primary producers. All the animals, including human, depend directly or indirectly on plants for their survival. Okay, you know that as well. All the animals need their food. No, so if they need food, they directly depend on the plants. Like echo, they eat the plant. If not, they indirectly depend on the plant. They consume the consumer of a plant. Okay, like they are heterotrophs. So hence, understanding plant life is vital. As we all directly or indirectly depend on plants, we have to understand the plant life as well. As human population is increasing with time, we need to increase the crop productivity. As we said before in sustainable food production, as this human population is increasing, we need to increase the crop productivity as well. Therefore, understanding plant biology and function is important to produce high yielding plants and disease resistant plants, etc. So, for us to produce these high yielding varieties of plants using post harvesting technological methods and disease resistant plants, we should know some biology, because we need some knowledge about biology to do this. So therefore we have to understand plant life using biology. Okay, that's it they are saying. Next thing is about understanding diseases and their causes. Okay, to maintain a healthy human body, one should have the knowledge of causes of diseases and their effects. So as man, we all get diseases. Okay, for us to live healthy, we should know, if I get a disease, I should know what this disease is, this, why did I get this, how can I cure this. We should know about them. So that's why this understanding diseases and their cause is important. Okay, when we take diseases, there are two major categories of diseases. One is communicable and other one is non-communicable. Okay, in communicable diseases, we can say common cold, it is caused by virus, it's a communicable disease. Influenza, tuberculosis, COVID-19, chickenpox, AIDS, SARS, all these are communicable diseases. Non-communicable diseases means they do not spread from person to person. They are diabetes, cancer, kidney failure, heart strokes, high blood pressure and all. Okay, so according to the predictions of World Health Organization, cancer, heart disease and infertility will be the most prevalent diseases of 21st century. In 21st century, most of the people are suffering with this cancer, heart disease and infertility. Okay, that's what they are saying. This was predicted by this World Health Organization. Okay. So now let's see about this cancer, AIDS, heart disease, chronic renal disease. Okay. Okay, so cancer is a condition where cells in a specific part of the body grows and it reproduces uncontrollably. Okay, they cannot be controlled. So these cancer cells can invade and destroy the surrounding healthy tissues as well. So cancer begins at one part of the body and they spread to the other distant parts as well. That process is called as metastasis. There are types of cancers. There are breast cancer, blood cancer, skin cancer and stuff. So we will be studying about cancers in detail later. So that's one of the main disease. Okay. After that, AIDS. AIDS means the full form is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. Okay. AIDS is the most advanced stage of HIV viral infection. It's caused by HIV virus, and this AIDS is the most advanced stage of this HIV viral infection. Okay, so sexually transmitted disease. So in addition to that, it can be spread by this blood transfusion and injection and drug use as well. HIV virus weakens our immune system. Okay, so there is no cure for this AIDS, but medications can control the infection and the disease progression. Okay, next one is chronic renal disease. Chronic renal disease means heart diseases. Heart disease. This is also a serious growing health problem worldwide. Causes are not fully understood yet. Even these heart disease causes are not understood fully yet. There are heart diseases like coronary artery disease. There are arrhythmias. Arrhythmias means rhythm changing in heart. In coronary artery diseases, these blood vessels supplying the heart get narrows and they get blocked. Okay, so they will be getting low blood supply and stroke. They might get stroke as well. So these are heart diseases. The causes are not fully understood yet. Okay, the next problem is chronic renal disease. Chronic renal disease means kidney. In Sri Lanka, recently CKDU has become a serious health problem. CKDU means chronic kidney disease for unknown etiology. They say if the reasons are not known, they say it's CKDU. Okay, unknown. U stands for unknown. Here, a condition characterized by gradual loss of kidney functioning over time. Chronic kidney disease means kidney functioning will be losing. We will be losing our kidney functioning over time. Kidneys perform multiple functions, like filtering the excess fluid and waste from blood, and this. So diabetes and high blood pressure are most common causes. If someone has this diabetes and high blood pressure, they also have this chance of getting chronic renal diseases as well. Currently, these scientists are working on prevention, remedial measures, and cures for such diseases. Okay, they are deadly diseases, so they are working for the prevention. So the last problem we're gonna see is about solving some legal and ethical issues. Situations where the knowledge of biological concepts are used for solving medico-legal or forensic issues. Okay, so when we consider about parentage testing, criminal investigations to identify dead bodies, solving migration issues, migration issues means identifying the nationality. Okay, so in these times we use biology as a solution. Like biotechnological method is there to use, which is DNA fingerprinting. Okay, so by using this DNA fingerprinting, we can get to know about these criminal investigations. We can find who is the criminal, and we can identify dead bodies. We can solve these migration issues, and parentage testings are also done using this DNA fingerprinting. Okay, that's all about the issues. Okay, so I said about the 5 main topics: introduction, issues, diversity, characteristics, and hierarchy. We finished issues successfully. First we finished introduction successfully. After that we finished issues successfully. Now we have to move to diversity. Diversity. You might be wondering where this diversity topic is. There is no topic called diversity, but the nature and organizational patterns of living world. They have divided these in accordance with different criteria. We can see a diversity among living organisms. Organisms are diverse based on size, shape, form, and habitat. Okay, so that's what I said as diversity. The living organisms are classified according to different criteria, and these organisms are diverse based on the shape, size, form, and habitats. Okay, we're gonna see detail about these things. Okay, so first of all, according to the size, we can classify all the living organisms. Okay, so size means they have given a small kind of living organism and a big kind of living organism and compared them to show you the size of the organisms vary from this to this. Okay, so bacteria, when we take bacteria, says 0.25 micrometers to 0.2 micrometers. Sorry, you should correct that. That's not 0.25 micrometers to 2 micrometers. It's 1 micrometer to 5 micrometer. Okay, This should be this is not the revised one. In the revised one they have given the resource book. In the revised resource book they have given the size of bacteria range from 1 micrometer to 5 micrometer. Okay, you might must change this. From that to giant sequoia, giant redwood tree. Okay, that's 100-meter tall. Okay, that's the example given in resource book. Other than that, we can see about baobab tree in Manna in Sri Lanka. Okay, so this tree has a circumference of 19.5 meters. Circumference of 19.5 meters means it's a very big tree. Okay, so this 100-meter tall tree is in USA, California. Okay, you can imagine how tall it is. Okay, so it says like the size of these living organisms varies from very small to very big. Okay, the next thing is the shape. Okay, organisms are diverse in shape. There are some examples. Cylindrical shape are there. Earthworm has a cylindrical shape. Streamlined body shapes are there. That birds and fish have streamlined body shape. The streamlined body shape is to reduce the friction. Okay, for them to, if the a fish has to swim in the water, so they have to minimize the friction. Birds have to fly, so they have to minimize the friction. For that only they have streamlined adaptation. And these two are given in our resource book. But other than that, flattened shape also there. Liver fluke has a flattened shape. We don't need that to be studied. Okay. So the next one is form. Form means there are two form in all living organisms: unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular, the example is amoeba, chlamydomonas. There are some microorganisms like them. They have unicellular. Unicellular means only single cell is there in their body. Multicellular means there are multiple cells. Okay, they have cells, tissues, and organ systems, and this organism. Okay, human is the best example. Human. So any plant or animal, you can take any example. Okay, the next fourth type of diversity, the criteria. Next type is habitat. Habitat means the place where an animal lives. Okay, these habitats are divided like terrestrial, aquatic, arboreal, and aerial. Terrestrial means they live on land or ground. Okay, rat is the example. Rat can live in land. Aquatic means living in water. It means fish is a good example. Fish is a good example because fish live under the water. Arboreal means living on trees. Koala bears, lories, they are the example. Aerial means birds are the example. Aerial means they can be found on space. Okay, they are flying and all. That's all about this diversity. It's a small part. So you understood about diversity, right? So if we finish diversity, that means 3 topics are over. Introduction over, issues over, diversity over. Now we have only 2 more topics: characteristics and hierarchy. Hierarchy is a small part, and this characteristic is a little bit lengthy part. Let's see how it goes. Okay, let's move to the characteristics of organisms. Give me a second. Give me a minute, please. Okay, so characteristics of organism. In order to survive, each organism, whether simple or complex, must be able to perform certain functions. Okay, you clearly understand that, no? So following features are the characteristics of organisms. Characteristics of organisms. Okay, so for us to distinguish a thing, like if it is a living thing or non-living thing, we can see some properties, right? We can see some characteristics. By seeing a object, we can see if it is growing, okay, this is living. We say that it's living. If it is moving, so we say like it's living. It's a living thing. It has life, so that's why it's moving. Okay, so let's say we see a bottle. So after seeing that bottle, we do we say like that bottle has life? No, right? So when we see a object, we can understand whether if it is a living organism or a non-living organism by its characteristics. Okay, so those kind of characteristics only we gonna see here. For an object or for a thing to be living, it should show some characteristics. Here in resource book there are 7 characteristics. Let's see what these 7 characteristics are. Order and organization, metabolism, growth and development, irritability and coordination, adaptation, reproduction, heredity and evolution. So there is a easy method to remember these 7. A teacher said this to me, so it's not my thing. Okay. Oh my God, I am really hungry. This is the thing to remember, key to remember. O means order and organization. My God, oh my God. My means metabolism. God means, so M is metabolism. Oh my God, G is growth and development. I is irritability and coordination. A is adaptation. Really, reproduction. Heredity and evolution is hungry. Okay, H. So this is the method to remember. Oh my God, I am really hungry. So you can remember that. Now let's discuss deeply about each and every topic. Okay. First one is order and organization. From molecular level to biosphere, an order and organization is observed in organism. Okay, you know, from molecules it becomes organelles, organelles become cells, cells become tissues, tissues become organs, organs become organ systems become organism, organisms become population, population become community, community become ecosystem, ecosystem become a biosphere. Okay, so from molecular level to biosphere, there is an order and organization observed in these organisms. Okay, this helps the organism to perform their function, store biological activities efficiently. By classifying this them into in a order, we can as these organisms are ordered and organized, so this helps them to perform their functions and store these biological activities efficiently. Okay, the examples given are human eye and plant leaf. So next one is metabolism. Metabolism means, there is a definition which we have to memorize. The sum of all chemical activities taking place in an organism is its metabolism. Okay, this one we have to memorize because they might ask in SCQ paper, structure paper. It includes catabolic and anabolic reaction. Metabolism is the sum of all chemical activities taking place in a human body, and it includes catabolic reaction and anabolic reaction. Catabolic reaction means breaking down of molecules to obtain energy. Example is cellular respiration. Anabolic reactions are the synthesizing compounds using energy is anabolic reaction. Examples are photosynthesis, carbohydrate synthesis, protein synthesis and all. So you can you don't need to remember that. We will be studying about that later. So for now, remember this metabolism includes catabolic reaction and anabolic reaction. Next one is growth and development. So in growth and development, all organisms begin their life as a single cell. Okay, every organism has a single cell in the beginning. After that only these unicellular organisms become unicellular, and multicellular organisms become multicellular. Multicellular means from this single cell they will divide and divide and divide. They will form multicells and multiple cells, and they will form a multicellular organism. But however, all organisms begin their life as a single cell. Okay. During growth, an irreversible increase in dry mass occurs. So there is the definition of growth is the ability of living organisms to irreversibly increase in their dry mass. Okay, which is characterized only by living. So only these living organisms can show this irreversible increase in dry mass. Okay. Irreversible changes that occur during the lifespan of an organism is development. This is the definition for development. We have to remember that as well. Irreversible changes that occur during the lifespan of an organism is development. Growth and development are two consecutive processes that happen in the lifespan of organisms. They both are consecutive processes. Okay. So the next one is irritability and coordination. For irritability also there is a textbook definition which we should memorize, must memorize. Irritability is the ability to respond to a stimuli from both internal and external environment. Okay. Movement of organism occur as a result of irritability and coordination. So if in the paper if they ask movement by how does the movement occur, these movement occur as a result of irritability and coordination. Both should happen for the movement to happen. Okay. In animals, this happen as a result of coordinated efforts of nervous, hormonal, muscular and skeletal system. So for the movement, these systems should be involved. They are nervous system, hormonal system, muscular system and skeletal system. All those four systems should coordinatively act for the human to move. All the organism to move. Okay. So remember these things as well. The fifth characteristic is adaptation. This is also an important definition. Adaptation definition they used to ask in exam papers. Okay, even in our term test papers they might ask. So remember this as well. Adaptation is a peculiarity of structure, physiology or behavior that promotes the likelihood of an organism's survival and reproduction in a particular environment. Okay. So for an organism to survive and reproduce in a particular environment, they show some unusual behaviors. Okay. That means, for example, moths, like there is something like brown color butterfly that's called as moth. They show some camouflage. Okay. Chameleon, they show camouflage. Adaptation is like if they can't live in a place, they will adapt themselves to live in that place. Okay, that's what they are saying as adaptation. Showing camouflage is also an adaptation. So here the adaptation example they have given in resource book are sunken stomata in xerophytes. Okay, stomata are the cell structure. The cell structure means they have pore inside the epidermis of these leaves. Okay, they are involving in the exchange of carbon dioxide and water. Okay, these stomata are sunken in xerophytes to minimize this transpiration. Okay, in this Transpiration means transpiration is the process of water movement through the plant and evaporation from aerial parts of the body. So to avoid this transpiration, these xerophytic plants have sunken stomata, okay, so that they can protect their water. Viviparity in some mangroves, that's the next example. Viviparity is a reproduction related phenomena where embryos grow directly on the body of the mother, okay. So this is an example where in mangrove plants they show viviparity. The next one is flayed out foot in camels. Flayed out foot in camel is it's like this prevents the sinking of foot in the soil, okay. In soil, to avoid the foot of camel to sink inside the soil, these camels have splayed out foot, okay. These are adaptation and the examples of adaptation. Next one is reproduction. Reproduction is ability to produce offspring for continuous existence of life. This definition also probably they will ask in structure essay questions. So reproduction is of two types. They are sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. We will study about them later. Like sexual reproduction means with involvement of the gametes, and asexual reproduction means that does not involve with the gametes, okay. So the next thing is heredity and evolution, okay. So that is the last characteristic of living organisms, heredity and evolution. Organisms have genes that pass from one generation to the next and control specific physiological, morphological and behavioral characteristics of organisms. So genes are the basic unit by which genetic information is passed from parent to offspring now. So here they say these genes pass from one generation to the next generation and they control these specific physiological characteristics, morphological characteristics and behavioral characteristics of organisms, okay. And then they have given a definition for genetic evolution, ability of an organism to change over time as a result of genetic modification is evolution, okay. Remember this definition as well. So many non-living entities may have one or more of these characteristics, but not all of them. So while we are studying this, you might have been wondering, so here these waves are moving. I said like if it is moving, it's characteristics of living organism. No? So how these waves are moving? Are these waves having life or something? Crystals are growing. How is this? You might have been wondering this. So for that they have given some of the non-living entities may have one or more of these characteristics, but not all of them, okay. So but only living organisms display all these characteristics simultaneously. All these 7 characteristics, if all these characteristics are simultaneously shown by organism at any point during their life cycle, then we can say that as a living organism. If not, we can't say it as a living organism. So the example is crystals grow and waves move. Yes, that is true. Crystals can grow, but we can't say crystals as living organisms. Waves move, but we can't say waves as a living thing, okay. So by considering this, it can be said that these are occurring in single-celled organisms as well as highly complex organisms such as human and anthophytes. Anthophytes means flowering plants. So okay, all these characteristics are shown from human, highly complex organisms such as human, and also even the single-celled organisms such as small amoeba and all, okay. So with that, we are finishing 4 topics, okay. Introduction finish, issues finish, diversity finish, characteristics also finish, hierarchy, there is a small part. Let's finish this and conclude it. Okay. In hierarchical level of organization, they say the cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. Okay, we all know cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. We might have studied in grade 10 O-level syllabus as well. Some organisms are unicellular while others are multicellular. Okay, we studied about that in these forms as well. In the diversity part, we saw organisms are diverse according to their form. What are the two types of form? Unicellular and multicellular form. Unicellular example, we studied amoeba. Multicellular example, we studied any plant or animal or human. Okay. So, cell is composed of several organelles which are formed by different organic molecules. Okay. From organic molecules, these organic molecules make some organelles. Those organelles makes the cell. Okay. We will be studying about cells soon. Okay. Cell and cellular organelles. So that's what they are saying. Cell is composed of several organelles, and organic molecules are only creating these organelles. Okay. Then hierarchical levels of organization of living things can be constructed by using relevant examples at each level. So let's see how this goes. These organic molecules, they are the first thing. Okay. From the organic molecules, organelles are built. Okay. After that, these organelles collectively form a cell. These cells collectively form a tissue. Tissues collectively form organs. Organs collectively form organ systems. Organ systems collectively form organism. Organism collectively form population. After these, population collectively communities. After that, communities collectively form ecosystems. Ecosystems collectively form biosphere. Okay, this is the hierarchical level of organism. But in the questions they might ask, in the exam they might ask us to write the organization of this organism from the living level. Okay, if they ask about living level, we can't mention these organelles or molecules. Okay, remember that cell is the basic structural and functional unit of life. Okay, so life starts from the cell. If they ask about living things, okay, you should write like cells, tissues, organs, organ system, organism, population, community, ecosystem, biosphere. Okay, we should ignore this molecule and organelle. Okay, so remember that as well. Okay, so that's all about this introduction to biology. Next is the second topic, chemical and cellular basis of life. I will be teaching this in an next section. So we are concluding that. So let's revise what we studied. Okay. First of all, we saw there are 5 topics under this introduction to biology. Introduction, issues, diversity, characteristics, and hierarchy. Okay. So in the introduction we studied this what are this biology, what the biology is, how this word came, and the main branches, sub branches and all. After that we moved to issues. In issues we studied about 7 issues. They are understanding biological diversity, understanding human body and its function, sustainable use and management of natural resources and environment, sustainable food production, understanding plant life, understanding diseases and causes, solving some legal and ethical issues. After studying about these issues, we moved to this diversity. In the diversity among living organisms, we classified it into 4 types as size, shape, form and habitats. Okay, we saw about the examples as well. After that we went to characteristics. In characteristics there were 7 characteristics: order and organization, metabolism, growth and development, irritability and coordination, adaptation, reproduction, heredity and evolution. I said your easy method to remember as well. Oh my god, I am really hungry. So we deeply discussed about these 7 characteristics as well. So we saw not only these living organisms show these characteristics, even non-living also can show, but they does not show all these things simultaneously. Okay, we saw that as well. After that we moved to this hierarchical level as well. So all these 5 topics were finished. So that's it about introduction to biology. Thank you so much. I'm ending up this session now. Okay, thank you. If there is any doubt, please drop it in the comments. Okay, thank you.